You ready? Here we go. Morning ride with Coach Kia. You are on, you are in. Let's get after this. I'm tired. I am not gonna lie, I'm tired today, people. Can you hear the engine roaring on that 2009 Ford Focus? We're gonna get it. We're still getting it, people. So come with me. We are leaving the station, as you can see in the background. 48 hours of fun. Up a couple times last night. And I got this rule since doing firefighting for quite a while and getting up through the night. If you've ever wondered, do firefighters sleep at night? Hopefully, that's the plan. But if we are up, I started implementing this rule. If it was anytime after 4:30, around that time, that I'll just stay up. And last night we got out right at 3:59 a.m. Ran a quick call, traffic accident, came back. It was one of the very few times where I came back and had a protein shake, had a banana, and actually went back to bed. Slept all the way till 7. We were lucky enough to sleep through the night, the second half of the night. And sometimes I wake up rested, sometimes I don't. Today it's a little cloudy. I feel like I could have used a couple hours of sleep. But the thing we do know about sleep is something I learned while working for a sleep doctor, a sleep specialist, was your body actually goes off of the rest and the sleep that you got 2 nights before. I know that sounds crazy, but your sleep, just like anything else, runs off a circadian rhythm. So if you're getting 5 nights in a row of consistent sleep, day 6, regardless if you get any sleep that night, you go out partying, whatever it is, you should wake up feeling rested day 6, whether you got sleep that night or not. Also, the approach is, when it comes to sleep, for every hour of sleep that you have that's interrupted or that you are awake during sleep, it takes 2 hours to make up for that hour of sleep. You got to get that hour back, plus 1 on top of it. If you're finding yourself in one of those positions where you're just constantly owing the sleep bank and it builds up through time, that's where you start getting into a space where it starts having effects on your nervous system, on your immune system, and you're not going to be in a good way. Your body has to get rest. So that's where I'm at. A couple nights of interrupted sleep, had a couple of nights of good sleep going into it. So day 1, I felt great. Felt like dog junk yesterday because it was interrupted sleep the night before, and ended up having a full day. First thing in the morning, going out to the drill tower, 3.5, 4 hours of firefighting drills that, even though it's not a live burn, even though it's not a real structure fire, it's work because you're carrying all that equipment around. You're having to go from one task to the next. It takes all of 30 seconds of me wearing an air pack for me to start feeling like the tightness and the fatigue at the top of my back, in between both of my scapula. That's something that I have to directly address with more exercises, but being used to carrying weight, which is why I wear this little chest bag. I used to wear fanny packs. I still do. I still really like fanny packs. It's convenient. Everything's right there. Do they look stupid? Yeah. But I like them. And ended up running into a buddy that was wearing one of these. And I thought, one, it looked a lot cooler than a fanny pack, but also it's right here in reach. Instead of having to reach down here, it's right here. So I got one. The cool thing about these is that this one is waterproof, it's sweat proof. You can add weight to it, or you keep all your things in it. And it's one way that I try to continuously build at least some stabilizing and getting used to some of the weight that we carry on a air pack when it comes to firefighting. Nowhere close, but even just a little bit of weight and adding weight through time, is I'm used to throwing something on and building up some of that muscular endurance in the middle of my back, which is the one thing that bothers me a whole lot when it comes to firefighting. And we wear these helmets. They don't look heavy, but you wear it for long periods of time, your neck starts to get fatigued. Little things you don't think about till you got all that stuff on how draining firefighting can be. Then you got to actually do some work. Carry it around, get things set up, and then it's time to go to work. That's one of the unique challenges when it comes to firefighting. You can have a great PR on the bench press. You can squat a ton of weight, which I do. Try not to go too crazy. But none of that matters when you have to complete a task with firefighting, because you got the gear on. It's encapsulated, so you don't get cooled off. That heat builds up. It's meant to have a layer that reflects heat and then one that insulates you. All that heat on the inside that your body produces keeps the heat from the outside out, but also that doesn't escape, and it's a vapor barrier as well. So all the sweat, All the condensation, all the heat, moisture stays locked inside. You're like a foiled dinner. And so it builds up very quickly. You got a hood, you got a mask, you're breathing air. If you're in a hot environment, that air's hot. You ever sit in a hot car in the middle of summer and breathe the hot air? It's like there's no oxygen. And then throw an exercising task on top of that, whether you're forcing a door, dragging hose, crawling around in a smoky, visionless environment, radio sounds, crackling, air horns, sirens, and you have to think clearly and be able to communicate clearly. It adds up really quick. That's one of the very, very challenging things about firefighting. There are a lot of glorious things in the job, but also it could get downright dirty, doing the dirty, especially when we've got to complete a task. That's how I started the second day, 4 hours of that, and I was tired. Oh man, I was tired. A couple hours doing that, coming back and having lunch, and then being ready to respond to calls. So after doing 4 hours of that and getting smoked, I thought to myself, we're gonna get our asses handed to us tonight. It's for sure. We're gonna get a fire, we're gonna be up all night. Do I got anything in the tank? So yesterday I took on just a little bit more carbohydrates than I would usually to replenish what I burnt from doing drill tower training all day, but also keep something in the tank if we had to give it another go in a real life scenario, real fire. I would have something in the tank, energy-wise. So I was forgiving to myself, got the extra calories in. When it came to today's topic, I started doing some more research on the things that motivated me, not just firefighting, but what motivated me ultimately to get back into shape and at least be functional, be able to do my job, be able to be rested, have the energy to go home, do family activities, have something left to bring home. Because you can easily go to work, give it your all, spend those precious calories, hours, and more importantly, your time on doing high quality work. Do you have anything to give your spouse? Do you have anything to give your children when that's said and done? What is that? There's something clinking. My favorite analogy when it comes to that situation, where somebody drew the analogy between food and your energy. You can think of that as calories, you can think of that as your vibration, your energy, what you have. They used food as an analogy, and I love this analogy. But talking about where you give your energy, where you spend the most effort. A lot of people will do that for their job. You got to go to work to provide for your family. So you're giving your food away. You're giving your energy away to your job. Do you have enough to feed your family? You have enough energy to give back to your family. So put yourself in a kitchen. Here's the analogy. Put yourself in the kitchen. If you're spending all that energy, all that time to prepare a really good meal, because you're expecting your family to have the meal. The analogy simply states to give the energy and the good food to the people that it's meant for, and then give the leftovers to those who deserve leftovers. I love that analogy, because if you are at home and you spend all your time and resources to get the best ingredients, to make the best meal, say it's a steak dinner, you made a steak dinner with all the sides, all the fixings, everything. You put the time, money, and effort into creating that meal. You want that to go to the people that deserve a nice meal. Most people, I'm speaking for myself, I want to give that meal to my family. And if somebody comes over to visit, a friend, a visitor, a coworker, whatever, if there's enough, they can have a plate too. Otherwise, you get leftovers or you get something else. And that's how you should think about your energy, time, money, effort. Is don't switch that up. A lot of people do the opposite. Is they are ready. They're well rested to go to work. They're most attentive at work. They give their best energy, their best work. They give the top prized steak to the job. They spend all day long. They spend that 8 hours at work, that 24 hours at work, 12 hours on shift, whatever type of work it is. Think of it. You spent all that time preparing and giving the best away to your job, to your coworkers, to the public, whatever it is you're doing, and you get home, you have nothing left. And so what do the people at home, the people you love, the people you're working a job for in the first place, what do they get? Leftovers. Think about that. It's backwards. The people you love, the people you prioritize, the people you say are the most important should be getting the best. They should not get leftovers. You get what you get, you don't throw a fit. So I want you to think of you in your situation. Are you giving your families leftovers? You giving them what's left? Are you showing up with what's left from work? Are you giving your children and your family the leftovers? Try doing that in practice. Go home, and when you feed your family, get all the leftovers out of the fridge and give them leftovers. But you go to work and you give them handcrafted desserts, medium rare steaks, the best food. But I started thinking of it like that. Man, that is such a powerful analogy for me. One, because I love food, but I was doing that. That's what I was doing. Putting so much time, effort, thought, brain activity into what I was doing at work, to the point where I was spent. There was nothing left by the time I got off shift, the time I got home. And that was my excuse. I'm too tired, I had a long shift. Sometimes it works out that way, energy-wise. You just gotta do what you gotta do. But I was giving my family leftovers. You got milk, eggs, you got everything you need in your house. That's your sanctuary. That's what you built. You built that for your house. Have your family safe, have your family fed, sheltered. They want to feel loved. There are going to be people in your life. They come and they just grab a to-go plate and leave. They bring nothing. You ever been invited to a birthday party, celebration, whatever, and everybody's supposed to bring a plate? Say it's a potluck. Everybody's you're supposed to come and contribute. Then you can make yourself a plate and leave. And think about that analogy. There's people that will contribute to what you're doing, to your event, to your life, to your goals. They'll bring something. They'll bring something of added value. And maybe they take a to-go plate, or maybe they don't. But there are people. You know who you are. I've done it. Polynesia people do it. We've known for taking them to-go plates. Some people just show up to get their plate, to take what they can and leave and not contribute. I feel like one of the things that held me back culturally is there are events, there are times where you're supposed to just give. It is your event, it's your funeral, it's your family's funeral, and so you got to provide for whoever shows up. And you're supposed to just, it is what it is. It's a celebration. Hey, come pay your respect, come get a plate, do whatever. But there should be a mutual exchange somewhere, whether it's food, it's service, it's money, it's something. You don't come empty-handed, you give something. And you get something back in return. It's an exchange of goods. It's an exchange of respect. It's an exchange of love. In my culture, there's this thing called talking about funerals. It's like a si'i. They call them a si'i alofa. For a funeral, is days before the actual services, they'll have these, what we call si'is. And the family will receive guests, receive other people from the community, and they will come to speak with the family, mourn with them, but they bring something of value. They'll bring money, they'll bring mats, they'll bring something to show and support the family that's lost somebody. And in return, the family will feed them. That's why this food analogy made so much sense to me, because I saw that my whole life, that we would go to these events, whether it's a wedding, a funeral, we would take something. My dad always told me that, don't ever show up empty-handed. Even if you just stopping by to visit. You go to visit your family, show up with a couple cans of corned beef, show up with some money, show up with a treat, and it really hit home. When I started thinking about this analogy in this video clip, just give to those you want to give to, but give them the best. You're showing up to pay respect. Don't give them leftover food. You wouldn't show up with that. You want to cook something that's well made. You want to take a prepackaged meal. You want to take something of value. Christmas is right around the corner. Do you ever wrap up some old shoes and hand that away as a gift? I don't know how far that's going to go with the person receiving the gift. But the lesson lies there. Give value to those who bring value. And if people just come to take, you need to start giving them to-go plates, or saying, hey, sorry, not today. What do you do about it? Here's what I did. When I knew I wasn't taking anything home but leftovers, and like getting leftover meat, getting leftover dad, getting leftover husband, as I started putting my priority, I want to do my best when I'm at work, but I reserve the best for when I get home. I want to be there mentally. I want to be well rested. I want to be physically there. That's how I bring home the best. If you take care of you, then you can provide and do the things that you say are important. Spending time with your family, being attentive, having the energy to show up to events, being able to physically, for you men out there, being able to physically protect your family when you need to. That's on you. That's on you, bro. You can't protect your family. What can you do? Feed, provide, shelter, protect. That's what I did. Is I started putting myself first. Like, I need to get myself to a level so that I can do these things that I say that are important. I want to be able to physically do my job. I want to be able to be attentive and have the cognitive ability to be able to think at a high level in moments of stress, make quick decisions, articulate my ideas, be able to extrapolate information from people, and quickly form a decision on a treatment route when I'm dealing with a patient. I want to be able to do all that and have the energy and not be completely spent by the time I go home. I take the firefighter helmet off and I got to put the dad hat on. I want to be able to function at a high level. And by putting myself first, by making sure that I prioritize my health, my mind, my sleep, my spirit, my vibration, whatever it is, you need to figure out how, why, and then take those steps. And for me, it was figuring out, all right, I need to get myself back in shape. I need to make it through my shift to get home, but then I need to have the energy. So start exercising more, starting being more cognitive of what I was putting inside of my body when it came to food. You are what you eat. One of the tips I give to my nutrition clients when we're talking about nutrition and we're simplifying things for them is I want you to think of it as quality over quantity, or vice versa. So the quality of food is going to dictate how you feel. Think of that. You're eating good, nutritious food, lean cuts of protein, supplementing, vitamins. You're doing all the right things. That's the quality. You're doing high quality. That's going to dictate how you feel. You're going to feel better. You're going to be more efficient. You're going to be functioning at a high level. Low quality food. You're eating fast food, chips, soda pops, whatever. You're eating bullshit. Low quality food. Guess how you're going to feel. You may feel good initially, whether you eat some fast food that's hyper palatable. It's made to make you thirsty. It's made to keep you hungry again in 30 minutes so you can buy more of their food. Eating low quality shit, how are you going to feel if that's what you're eating all the time? Quality. And you can think of quality behind that too. So think of the quantity of food you eat. That's going to dictate how you look. That's going to dictate what pops up on the scale. If you eat high quality, high quantity of food, you'll feel better, but you will still gain weight, depending on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to lose weight, if your quantity is still up, you're still going to put on more weight. And if you're eating lower quantity, there's only so much material there, that's going to dictate how you look. Quality, how you feel. Quantity, how you look. And then you adjust those parameters to meet the end goal. So for me, when I came to having that epiphany of I wanted to be better, I want to lose weight, I want to be stronger, is I knew I needed to eat more high quality food. And I knew I needed to eat them in lower quantities because I was overweight. Quality, quantity. Then I knew I needed to add resistance training, exercising, some type of fitness program. I need to be moving more, to start prioritizing movement, whether it was going out walking, stretching, and most importantly, adding resistance training to build more muscle. There you go. That's literally what I did. And for me, it was very tuned in on needing to add more musculature to have more strength to complete the task that I was scheduled to do that day, whatever comes up, and be able to burn more fat. You have more lean tissue, your body's going to require more energy to hold on to that, so that's going to up your metabolism. You're going to be burning more, but feeling better because I'm eating higher quality food. I'm watching what I eat and being more cognizant of that. I had to figure out what exact measurements I need to eat for me and for what I'm trying to do, but also to match my activity level. Those are some of the simple steps I took to start implementing those changes when I knew, all right, I got myself back to this place I want to be, and switched my mindset when I was thinking about who gets leftovers, who gets to-go plates, and who gets the high-quality dinner. That's my family. And I'm not telling you to go to work and slack off and not be able to perform at your job at a high level. I'm just telling you to prioritize it like I did. I'm going to do my best. They are going to get the best, but I'm also going to prioritize it so that I'm able to go home and give better food to my family and have something in the tank so I'm not taking home leftovers. Start cutting out people that I realized weren't adding any value to the menu. No more free to-go plates. Think about that. You got people in your life that come and take up your time, take up your mental energy, take your physical energy, take your money, or literally come and take food and bring nothing in return. How long can you sustain that? When you feel like you're running on fumes, is that you? Are you running on fumes? Are you running on a hope and prayer? Are you running that gas tank so low that those fumes, you're hoping that'll coast and get you home? They'll figure out fueling up by the time I get there. When I came to that point, I knew that was the thing I need to immediately fix. I feel like dog shit every day. Do I have enough energy to give to those around me that are expecting me to be at a high level? When I had my aha moment, I was getting ready to turn 40. 40 was right around the window. Is it too late? Man, it's way too late. My body's different. I'm running on fumes, kicking the can down the road. Like, I know I'm not my healthiest right now, but New Year's is coming around. I'll just do it then. Kicking that can down the proverbial road, but also worried. My parents are older, and so if you want to get a good glimpse into where you possibly may be health-wise, how are the older people in your family? Are they healthy? Are they thriving? Are they not dealing with any underlying medical issues? How did they live their life? Were they fairly healthy? Did they not drink or smoke? And are they still dealing with stuff? Or even if they did, you could literally fast forward and look at those around you, the ones closest, most genetically similar to you, how they turn out. There is a good chance that's in the cards for you. Started looking at my parents. Both of my parents, type 2 diabetic. Both of my parents, respiratory issues. Both my parents, blood pressure issues, sleeping issues, high cholesterol based on what they were eating. They did not drink. They did not smoke. They did not do any wild off-the-chart activities. Well into their 70s, knocking on 80's door, but still dealing with diabetes and all these other issues. And on top of that, natural progression of life, just getting older. What I did notice about my parents is that they didn't exercise. So I'm like, I guess you could not exercise to get to that point. But I was looking at their scorecard. What they did is they had a bunch of kids. They took care of their family. They went to church. So they had these other things pretty much lined up. And when I was looking at their overall health, both of them having to deal with all these medical issues, and what was the missing component to me, I think it was diet and exercise. I didn't even know what carbs, proteins, fats, I didn't know what carbs were, like really well into my medical career. Now, carbs are part of food somewhere. I don't know exactly what type of carbs. So you could choose to be at least educated at a minimum level when it comes to the stuff that you put in your mouth every day, but also exercising. So you should look at food as something that should be high priority, high quality, and then what quantities of food. Exercise. Both of my parents, when I was doing this review, both of them were very active. A lot of kids, a lot of activities, always on their feet, and so they were able to spare themselves. And that's why I think they were able to live so long. She's always walking, she's out shopping, she's taking care of kids, she's staying active. So she's constantly challenging her body, constantly challenging her mind. She loves getting on the phone. If you got 14 kids and 1,000,003 grandkids and thousands of great grandkids and extended family on top of that, plus social group at church, it's not hard to stay engaged mentally. My dad always worked with his hands, did construction, was a jack of all trades, climbs trees, stays active, and so he didn't have to physically go to a gym because he stayed active that route. The thing I noticed here in more recent history is now he is been in and out of the hospital, so for the last couple of months, he has not been able to implement exercise. He's been too busy, and so there's been a decline in his overall health, even though he's got the medicines, even though he's got time to get sleep, even though he's not dealing with some stressful situations at work, he's not demanding most of his body. So we're starting to see the deterioration of that, and it is quick. It is quick. So you could depend on staying busy, doing chores, running around, doing your job. I count that as activity. But if you get to a spot where you can't do that, all that quickly goes away. And so by implementing an exercise program, having years and years, having this become part of your daily habit to where you are challenging your body, you don't need to go deadlift 500 pounds a day, but make exercising, prioritizing movement, resistance training as a day-to-day regular activity. It's got to be as regular as brushing your teeth. That's a non-negotiable for me. I got to brush my teeth before I go to bed. I got to brush my teeth first thing when I wake up. And look at me. All of 40 years old, I still have my pearly whites. Are they perfect? They could always be better, but that's something I prioritize. You got to sleep every day. You got to eat every day. I got to brush my teeth. I got to take a shower. Exercise should be right up there. It should be categorized like it is brushing your teeth. This has to be done. This is a non-negotiable for me. And so you want to keep nice teeth well into your 50s, 60s, 70s. You want to have a nice, functional, operating, healthy as can be body, but you only maybe work out once a month, once every 6 months. It's got to be on the same routine level. It's got to be on the same level of importance and the same level as your day-to-day as brushing your teeth. Try treating your teeth the same way you treat your exercise routine. Do it for a day or two. You'll immediately start seeing the effects. That breath will get hot as garbage. You're not going to the way your mouth feels. People around you are going to know right away. Treat it just like you would your exercise. How quickly do you switch up your dental routine? If that was on the same level as where it is with your exercise and your activity level, real quick, for me, unless you're all right with going around with hot garbage breath and you don't like having teeth, it's got to be that important. You got to put on that same level of importance. We left Missouri. We left the Show Me State. We are now in Kansas. I'm a turn or two away from Tautua Fitness headquarters, Tautua International. I have a couple of coaching calls today, and to wrap it up, just a quick review. We talked about not taking leftovers home to your family. Give the good servings to those who to be served the good food, your energy, the things you end up taking home at day. You spend all that time, money, and effort to have food in your home, and you want those meals to go to the people that it's meant for. If you are feeding people, if it's somebody not within your family and they come and they contribute, remember we talked about my cultural upbringing when it comes to some of these events, that's just culturally woven in me. I don't ever show up empty-handed. You got to show up with something. If there is an exchange of energy, if there is an exchange of food, you get the same. Stop giving out to-go plates, especially to those who aren't contributing. Hey, these to-go plates are for family members and paying people only. If you're here just to swipe up a plate, not today. You're not taking any extra energy from me. You're not taking any extra resources from me unless you're here to contribute with something. Think of it. Use the food analogy. We talked about when it comes to your nutrition, quality versus quantity. How do you want to feel? Then you decide the quality of food that you want to eat. Quantity or volume. Is it high quantity? Is it low quantity? High for if you want to be on an increase, if you want to gain weight, if you want to gain muscle, you're going to have more quantity. Trying to lose weight, lower that quantity. And you decide how you want to feel doing that. That's where the quality comes in. Look at your parents. Look at older siblings, cousins. If you don't have siblings, cousins, look at them. That's going to give you the best insight into the future. And then think about what they did. I used my parents for example, but I'll give you a quick run through. If you think of somebody in your family, all right, you have an older brother, Joey. All right, Joey took care of himself. He generally ate pretty good, prioritized his health. He's in his 60s and he looks pretty dang good. He's getting around okay, not dealing with much. Then you could draw a conclusion that if you followed that suit, if you implemented some of the things in that example you used, that you should ascertain the same results. Think of that. Look at the people around you, look at family members. That's going to give you the best insight. And then you start making those changes. That's what I did. Took care of my body, make sure I wasn't taking leftovers home, prioritize exercise and movement, higher quality of food. So that's a quick review of what we did today. I just know that your time is the most important thing, and I'm just grateful that you spent some of it with me. Hopefully you watch this whole video. For more, go ahead, like this video, subscribe, share, comment below. That helps me drive the algorithm, so people that like similar content, the algorithm will feed them too. If you want to search me up on socials, find me on Instagram at Tautua Fitness. Find me on Facebook, Tautua Fitness. We've got a activewear shop. Check that out too. If you want to be part of the tribe, you can go on there. It's TuaFit, TuaFit.com. Go out there, support a Polynesian-owned business, or just become part of the tribe. Maybe not ready to implement an exercise program, and all you need is that motivation. You need to look and feel part of the tribe. Well, get you something. Send it, tag me, let me know, and I want to share that journey with you. We also have a free fitness community, the Tautua Tribe. It's on the school app. That allows me to do free coaching one-on-ones. Go live on there and do free coaching sessions, but have free courses you can access. So if you don't have time to make one-on-ones, you can go into these courses whenever and do them, and you get the resources, free resources. On top of that, most importantly, you have a tribe of like-minded people, other Tautua Tribe members, for added accountability. You can share wins, losses, ask questions, build a network of like-minded people. We don't let everybody in, but if you mentioned you heard it here, we'll definitely let you in. Join the tribe, hit us up on socials, subscribe for more, and it's about progress, not perfection. Until next time, Coach Kia signing off. Thanks for riding with me.